Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Les Brown's Motivational Monday Night Call, your place for motivation and inspiration by world-renowned speaker, author, and coach, Mr. Les Brown, featuring his platinum speakers. This is Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant, one of his master trainers and host of tonight's call. I'm excited to welcome you on behalf of Mr. Brown, who is committed in inspiring 100,000 voices of hope all over the globe, stepping into that greatness that lives inside each and every one of you. So he appreciates your time and your participation on the call. As you know, his schedule is very hectic, but I tell you, he will be on surprising us sooner than you think. So you can be sure to stay connected because you never know when he'll be here live in between his travels. But in the meantime and in between time, there are a couple of things that we want to invite you to do. So that is connecting with Mr. Brown on Facebook, brown.les. Brown.les is the Facebook page, and there you can get daily inspiration and motivation from Mr. Brown and interact with those that are present in the Facebook group. You can also visit lesbrown.com for more information on upcoming programs and events where Mr. Brown will be. There is a special training that will be happening over on the West Coast in Los Angeles, the ending of May 27th and 28th, I believe. But if you go on the website, you will see the information loaded up so you can prepare to see Mr. Brown live there. He will also be making a special appearance on Monday, February 22nd at the Bronner Brothers Convention happening in Atlanta, Georgia. He's doing a special training there and appearance. So if you're in the Georgia area, this would be an opportunity for you to see Mr. Brown live. So once again, visit lesbrown.com for more information and also access to some new and fun tools that he'll be using to interact with all of his audience throughout the globe, including a special app. So we're excited that you take time out of your schedule to be here to participate in this call and know that this is here because of his commitment to seeing this world be a better place. And we appreciate all of our new callers who've joined for the first time, and we honor all of our faithful listeners who are here each and every week. And we invite each and every one of you to bring a friend next time and continue paying it forward with the gift of hope and what this call has meant to so many of you who have candidly shared your personal accounts and testimonies of how it's touched your life, and we're humbled by that. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise for you. Usually you are able to hear from our platinum speakers that are inspiring you with their message of hope. Most recently, the majority of them have been some of our male platinum speakers. But tonight, in addition to the voice of Anita Hicks that you've heard, in addition to my voice that you've heard, I get to introduce to you another one of the ladies that is a part of Les Brown's platinum speakers. We affectionately call her the Heart Lady. She's a licensed marriage, family, and child therapist in private practice for 24 years in Vallejo, California. She is the owner of Talk to Me Counseling and a founder of For a Child's Heart, Inc. and Heart Talk Publication. Her life and work is dedicated to the nurturing and healing of the heart, mind, and spirit of those who have been hindered by the pains of hurt, loss, and disconnectedness, as well as depression. Her special emphasis is for those whose lives have been impacted by foster care and adoption. Her motto is heal your heart and follow it. She's the author of multiple books, including It's Heart Work, Being the Village That Raises a Child. She's also been the author of How's Your Heart Working in the Village, and a very special one with our very own mentor, Mr. Les Brown. Meeting Mr. Les Brown, Mr. Baby Brown's baby boy. That's the fun one that I like about her. And then she has another one that's entitled entertaining angels aware, I am my sister's keeper. Now, I could go on and on about what she has published, her public access show that she has, some of the individuals that have worked with her. But as a Platinum family, one of the things that impresses us the most about the person I'm about to introduce you to is her passionate work about healing the heart and particularly holding up the lives of those who have been impacted by foster care. She begins that charity at home with the kind of loving care that she provides for her own relatives, as well as extending her heart and her home to so many children who have been in need. Her character speaks volumes on how she is living with that greatness that Mr. Brown talks about. So it's no secret why we refer to her as the Heart Lady. But her real name is Miss Evelyn Polk, a.k.a. the Heart Lady, my Platinum sister and dear friend. And I want you to take out your pen and your paper because we're going to have an engaging conversation tonight that will inspire you on this first day of the second month of this new year and a leap year. So put on your seatbelt and let's get ready to go. Miss Evelyn, are you on the line with us tonight?
I am, and I'm sitting here just changing from ear to ear. It's like, listen at you, you make everybody sound good.
Look, I'm not making it up. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I am just excited to have you on tonight, Evelyn, for multiple reasons. But you represent such an important voice as a part of our Platinum family, and the kind of work that you do, literally the heart work that you do, is one that needs to be continuously exalted. And I want to personally thank you on behalf of the many families that you've worked with, that you have been in the trenches, on the ground, changing lives, to say thank you, because so many people have hope because of you, your voice, your story, and your work. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I consider it a privilege. And, you know, it is. It's my passion. It is my joy. It's my life. So I'm grateful to be one of those who really has been able to recognize what my calling is.
That is amazing. And, you know, on this call, we have so many faithful listeners and some new listeners who've joined in tonight who are connected with Mr. Les Brown because of what he inspires inside of them, that when they hear his voice, when they read his books, when they listen to the YouTube, they feel they can go out and conquer the world. And you actually wrote a book, Meeting Mr. Les Brown, and you talked about your story before you had the opportunity to invest in working with him. What did it mean to you, Evelyn, as you were doing your work and looking to expand your platform? What did Meeting Mr. Les Brown do in your life, and how did you represent that in that book?
Wow. Well, for one, it solidified my faith, because probably about 15 years prior to actually beginning to work with him, I met him when he published his first book, but I used to watch him on PBS, and with him being, telling his story about being a foster child and adoptee, and I was a single parent of 2 boys, and they were giving me a runaround, and I would laugh because as he would talk about his behaviors, I said, that's my youngest one, that's my youngest one. It's like, I want to be a Miss Mamie Brown. I want to be able to hang in here and endure all of this. So when he wrote his first book, I actually, met him at a book signing, had him to sign my book, but I had just started my nonprofit organization, and in my mind, I said, one day he's going to come and speak to the caregivers and to the young people that I'm serving. And so when I actually had the opportunity to meet him, I had a radio program at More Public Radio in Oakland, and I was sitting there one day and looked up on the wall and saw that he was coming. I said, I've got to see him. I've got to talk to him. I've got to interview this man. But long story short, when I met him, what I talk about in the book, Meeting Les Brown, it's like upon walking in and seeing him, it was like, oh my gosh, he's really present. But then he asked me a question, and I almost just lost it. He said, so you want to do an interview? Did you bring a tape recorder?
That might help.
Well, we were going to do it back at the studio. He said, so how are you going to do it? Record it? And then he looked at me, and I saw that look on his face, that little mischievous boy that I heard him talking about, and we just started laughing. And it was like there was a heart connection there. And basically, one of the things he told me that day, there were a set of twins that I was going to bring to his program who were celebrating their birthdays, but were living in different foster homes. And he asked me, did I bring us? Well, we had a problem. He looked at me. He said, don't ever say what you cannot do. He said, you never know what resources you have available to you. So make it happen. So we made it happen. I got one of the twins there. And that, even in that moment, that was life-changing for me. You never know what resources you have available to you. So I actually always been kind of bold, but I've walked even more boldly now. It's like, how are you going to get there? I don't know, but it's going to happen. I'm following my heart, and that's what I've done. So, yeah, working with him has just been just a joy, a pleasure. It's like family. We've had ups and downs, but we know that the bottom line is we're here for a purpose. We're here to express the greatness that is within us, and sometimes squeezing it out can be a little rough, but it's all worth it.
I love it, and I love that part of the story that you shared where he counseled you not to say you can't, right? Because sometimes that's the default position that we go into when something seems difficult or something seems challenging, and that's what I appreciate about Mr. Brown and the work that he is doing in the world, and those of us who have come to work with him, is inspiring everybody to dig a little bit deeper, even when it seems tough. And like you said, doing your heart's work, there can be challenges. There are days where it's not as easy to keep going, and particularly for you, you're in a field where I can only imagine the stories that you've amassed that can just tear at your heart when you think about the vulnerability of children, and you still have to turn around and figure it out and figure a way. If you were to be able to see all of these lives that are represented on the call right now that are listening to you, and they're saying, wow, we call you Miss E or the Heart Lady, you hit a chord, you struck something inside of me. They might be going through something right as we speak. What would you share with them, Evelyn, that would inspire them to keep moving and to figure it out like you did that day when Les Brown said, no, there is a way. You can make it happen.
So I always use the acrostic for heart, and one is to have a sense of humor. Sometimes things are getting so stressful. You've got to find the humor. You heard the saying, you laugh to keep from crying, but you look at it and say, okay, a few days from now, a week from now, a month or so from now, things are going to change one way or the other, and you find those moments. But the other part of that is that you extend yourself. You extend a hand out requesting help as well as giving help to others, because you never know where the answers are. And I used to be a person that was pretty hesitant to ask for help because of some things that had happened in, my background in my childhood, part of my brokenheartedness. And I had to allow that to heal, and that is healed by reaching out and connecting with other people. And one is just, once you extend yourself, you ask for the help. You also just remember the times that you've gotten through. I just read a quote last week. It says, when you feel like you can't make it another day or things too rough, just stop and remember that so far you've had 100% track record because you're still here. So remember the things that you've been brought through, and that this too shall pass. And the other thing for me is just to trust the process. Trust God, trust your faith, trust the process, trust the universe, whatever you relate to, trust that it will come through. And listen. And I believe that when we get still, because a lot of times we're so busy and, and our hearts start to race and we feel like we've got to keep up, we've got to be doing something. Sometimes it's just to be still, still and listen and relax. And some of my best times is like, you know what, I'm just going to take a nap. And a lot of times my answers will come to me through a dream, or I'll wake up feeling refreshed because I know I'm worn out. And I'm just, it's easier for me to trust for my own life circumstances, but when I'm working with people and I see just the devastation and the frustration in their minds. And, I just go off and I say, a little prayer, and just to watch them come through it and to hear them say, well, when I first came to that door, I didn't know if I was going to make it. That just warms my heart. It just makes me feel good. And watching the young people that I've worked with over the past years. And, having young people who are in their 40s with grown children saying they remember things that I shared with them years ago and that they came through it, not necessarily without some glitches, not necessarily without some downfalls or some darkness, but they came through, and they came through stronger and wiser, but it's just getting through it.
I love it. Well, wow. I told everybody to get their pen and paper because we were about to take off. Now, you had a few firecrackers in your comments, and I want to go back because they were popping so fast. My pencil couldn't keep up with it, but I want to go back to what you said in regards to asking for help. And I don't remember who I heard say it first, but I've used it multiple times, that you ask for help not because you're weak. You ask for help because you want to remain strong. And I want to say Les was the first person that I heard use that line, but that's so true. And we have to get to a point where we learn how to really ask for that help. Because I think you're not the only one, Miss E, who's gotten caught up with issues that have prevented the opportunity to ask for help, whatever those things in your mind might be saying to you about it. But you've just broken that chain tonight and given everyone permission to ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. So I want to thank you for that. I'm going to do a recap. You had so much going on. Good thing I can write fast. And then you talking about...
Not being still, huh?
Yes. I love it. And then you talked about trusting the process. And sometimes we try to figure out every single thing. And what I love about your work, the heart work, is you're focusing on the why. And that why is healing. That why is giving people hope and opportunity. The how has worked itself out as you've been building your platform. So you've just trusted the process, that if everybody listening on this call can just trust that if they've been given something burning in their heart, a desire to do, and an opportunity to be of service, that the how will happen. So as you grow, just trust that process and remain focused on the why you keep coming back again and again and again, the why, Evelyn, you kept going when it was hard, when the kids you were working with seemed like there was no way you could give them the resources that they need, but you kept coming back again and again. The reason why you opened your home to being a foster parent, the reason why you care for your own family that way, you keep coming back again and again because your why is your heart work. So that was a powerful one for everybody on the line to digest. And then you talked about being still. And that's a missed opportunity that I know I missed the ball on many times, Evelyn, many times, because you're so busy running like a little hamster on the wheel, and you're going until you just almost pass out. And if you don't take the time to be still, to just listen and fall in alignment with what it is your life's purpose is actually revealing, you'll never quite get it. So, oh my goodness, this has been juicy already. I can't, and I know you have another point that you're about to say. I feel it coming, so I have my pencil ready to go ahead. Lay it on us.
I just wanted to go back to the H. I remember the first time that I talked about this, about the humor, and Les made a comment, something about, well, that's not going to fit the situation. I said, we do it with you all the time. But my other H is have a vision. When you have a vision and you talk about the why and you don't know how. And so when I was looking back, PBS days, that one day he's going to talk to these people. He's going to meet my sons. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but it did. It just did. He's come and spoken to our young people twice. We have a scholarship in his name entitled the Les Brown Heart of Dreams and Tenacity Award. And our first recipient was in 2005, I believe. He's a graduate of Clark Atlanta University. He is doing public speaking himself. He took forth. He's traveled all over the world. He just spoke at the International Foster Care Conference as the keynote speaker. He was our first recipient, and we've given that award, that scholarship, to other young people. And it just, each thing, it's like the song, so each victory that will help you, some other to win. Every time something happens that you expect and even beyond, it, gives you the momentum to just keep moving forward. And it's like, I don't know what's happening next, but I'm going to keep going. And what I want to say also about the whole issue of having a vision and knowing the why, the name of my nonprofit is For a Child's Heart. That's the why of what I do. Everything that I do, when it gets frustrating and I have to deal with bureaucracy, I have to deal with social workers, or just anything crazy, I just remember I'm doing this for a child's heart. And I've shared with many how that came to me with my young foster son, who told me when I touched his face, it made his heart warm. And
yes, I remember that story.
Yes, that was a pivotal point in my life. So I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's what allows me to take heart, to have heart, to build heart, and to keep moving.
That is awesome. I tell you, Ms. E, we could stay on this line for the entire night, just talking about this wonderful work that you're doing and that story of your young foster son. Oh, my goodness, when you touch his face, it warms his heart.
He said, when you touch me like that, it makes my heart warm.
That's right there. That's one of those drop the mic moments, ladies and gentlemen. Drop the mic. Because for a child, that is the most precious thing we can do. And to that end, I want to give some time for us to have you share what you have coming up. But I want to dedicate a special acknowledgement tonight because, and I'm going to keep calling you Miss E. That's what we call you. Her name is Evelyn Polk, a.k.a. the Heart Lady, but we refer to her as Miss E. Miss E, there's a young lady that may be listening tonight. Her name is Gina. It's not the first time that she has been on the call, but it was the first time she was able to get through last week. And guess how old she is? 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh!
14
I love it.
Years old. And it was just hearing her voice and just imagining if we can continue to pour seeds into the lives of our young people, to really give them the capacity to do the great things that we know that they've been built for, it will make our living not in vain. And come to find out that her brother Patrick has been a listener here, and we've been able to connect, and he's going to be doing some work. It was just so humbling to hear that her young life has been touched by the work of Mr. Brown, of all of us as platinum speakers. And Gina, if you're listening, I want you to know that we're proud of you. We want more Gina to be connected to this call. That's why Miss E does her work. So that is what is just beyond amazing, that you were not willing to quit when it got hard. As you were building this platform, the years of work that you've been putting in, almost a quarter century, and you're still pushing, you're still advocating for our children, and you're still touching the hearts of everyone that has the privilege to work with you. So with that, I want you to share how individuals can stay connected with you if they want to find out more. I know you have some upcoming events that they can participate in for those who live in the California area, but how can they just find you on social media, your website, or just connect with you to continue this conversation on your heart work?
Well, my website is www.talktomisse, that's TalkTomse.com. On Twitter, I'm the Tweet Heart Lady. And then on Facebook, talk to me, let me speak, Miss Evelyn, the Heart Lady, and For a Child's Heart. And those are the ways that you can connect with me. And then I also have 2 YouTube channels. One is Visions for a Child's Heart, and the other is Miss E. Heart Lady. And there are various interviews that I've done with different ones. Some predominantly adults who grew up in the foster care system, others who've just made some really major milestones and courage, and sharing their courage and moving forward to give hope to people. So those are the ways. And I also have reactivated my text. You can send a text to 22828. Yeah, 228288, and type in there, Heart Lady. And what that will do, you will receive an automated text for you to be able to sign up to join my mailing list. So those are all ways you can connect with me.
Well, please go ahead and repeat that text to number just in case anyone was writing it down and didn't get it completely.
Okay. You're going to send the text with the word Heart Lady to 22828.
22828.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And they're going to type the words Heart Lady, HeartLady. So that is incredible. And when you connect, you'll get information about her Heal Your Heart for Living Your Purpose event that's coming up. And you can register for that on her website, and you can see some other events you'll have in May. So I promise you that this was going to be a powerful call. You shared quite a bit, encouraged us to find a way, have a sense of humor, have a vision, extend yourself, trust the process, be still and listen so much that you are going to be able to really massage and digest where you are in your life right now, what this will inspire you to do. I think my summary for tonight's conversation is if you find the why, what's the why in your heart, the how will take care of itself so you too can serve from a full place like our platinum speaker, Miss Evelyn Polk, a.k.a. the Heart Lady. So, Ms. E, if you have a moment or two, we can take a question or comment from our audience before we have to wrap up and prepare for another call. Do you have about 3 or 4 minutes that you can share with the callers?
Sure. So let me just put more of a plus for February being my month. It's the month of Valentine's, and everyone is talking about love. And I want people to realize that even if you're not in a romantic relationship, there's still areas that you can discover within yourself where the love is. And so this is a 3-week seminar, teleseminar. It's going to be held the first 3 Saturdays in February, and it's only $99, and that's what you can sign up for. And each week we're going to talk about different aspects of healing our hearts, because when we have a vision, sometimes it's the brokenness inside of us that keeps us from moving forward because we can't get past that emotional obstacle or pain, and we need to discover those and be able to move forward. That's all. And also the inner child. Mm-hmm.
So they can do that right at talktomisse.com. They'll see the information for the class and the details on each of the segments.
Right. And if the link isn't working, come back, because I just checked it before I came on, and for some reason it wasn't going through, but it's there.
Well, we're sending all of the electronic forces to make sure it works, because there's some individuals who would want to register for this very engaging 3-part teleseminar. So visit talktomisse.com for more information. I'm going to open up the call, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be able to press *6 to unmute your line if you have a question and or comment for Miss E. So please stand by.
All callers are unmuted. All callers are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have a question or a comment for Miss E, press *6 at this time.
Dr. Stacy, can you hear me?
Hey, Ray, I can hear you. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, pretty good. Back in the rehab, but that's okay. I wound up with broken vertebrae in my back. Can you believe
Ray, you know what? When it comes to resilience, your picture is right next to it, because you won't let anything stop you. And we appreciate you and your resilience, and you keep fighting the good fight and just being a part of this family every single Monday, Ray. We appreciate you. So I know you have a question or comment for Miss E, but
yeah,
I'm going to let you go really quick. Yes, because there was somebody else unmuted. We're going to give some of the new callers a chance tonight, too. Okay, Ray?
Okay. I just have, excuse me, I just have a comment, and I hope I don't take too long. You can cut me off if I do. I spoke to Covenant House a few years ago to the kids there, and they called girls, maybe teenagers, you know. And I started off with saying, one girl said, she curled up on a chair, she says, and put her hands over her ears. She says, I'm not going to listen to a word you say. I said, that's fine, just sit there, honey. So I started off looking at these kids, and I said, I love each and every one of y'all. So Miss No Listening took her hands off her ears, and she says, how do you know? You don't even know us. I said, because I love all teenagers. They all have potential. And so at the end of the thing, she come running up to me, threw her arms around me, kissed me on the cheek. She says, Miss Ray, I love you too. I tell you what, $1 million.
That is awesome, Ray. Thank you for sharing that story. Yet another example of when you share your heart. That was so sweet. Thank you so much, Ray. And you see, that got to Mrs. E's heart because that's what and why she does this work. So thank you for sharing that, Ray. We hope that you feel better, and thank you for always being here. We're going to send up some healing thoughts for you that you can recuperate quickly, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, my love. And let's see, there was two other folks that were standing by. You could go ahead right now.
Hello.
Hello. Go right ahead.
Hi. This is Janice calling from Louisville, Kentucky. Happy Monday to everybody.
You too.
I was listening to Miss E talk earlier and giving us her points, and then you, Dr. Stacy, giving the recap of sorts. And I thought it was kind of funny about, as you talked about being still. Because just before this call, a song popped into my head that came from childhood. I Come to the Garden Alone. You remember that one? Mm-hmm. And that, to me, I translated for or get that as that was a cue for us to meditate. Think about it.
I love that. I love it. I love it.
So that's all I wanted to share with you guys, and just stew on that for a little bit. Marinate.
And you know, many times we don't take the time, or we say we don't have the time, but it's just a part of everything else that we plan in our lives. And the retreat that I'll be doing in May is for people to be able to have time to play, to rejuvenate, to pray, and to be still, and to have fun. We've got to have fun balance.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. You too. We appreciate you. Thank you for that. That is awesome. That's why I love our Motivational Monday Night family. That's what we are, and continuing to reach out and make a ripple effect of greatness. That's what Les Brown stands for, how he lives his life, and how he continues to inspire all of us as his platinum speakers to do the same. So there's one more person I think was holding to speak. You can go right ahead before we wind up our call for this evening by pressing star 6. See, somebody was struggling there with the line. I'll give a few more seconds, but if you did not get a chance to ask your question or give your comment, feel free to connect with Miss E. She's giving you her website. She's on Facebook, and you can just do a search for the Heart Lady or for a Child's Heart, and you'll see her page on Facebook and continue the conversation with her. So I'm going to put us back in presentation mode. So we thank those of you who unmuted to give your comments, and we appreciate everybody's presence. Please stand by.
All callers are muted.
So once again, Miss E, thank you for sharing your heart with us tonight. Thank you for all that you do, particularly for the most vulnerable in our community, our children. And we really extend nothing but accolades and applause for you staying the course and bringing such value to our world. So we wish you continued success, and we know that we'll have even more great things to hear as your work continues. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in tonight's call. Your presence is valued and appreciated. And on behalf of Mr. Brown and the entire team, we say thank you. Welcome to the month of February. It is a leap year, so I like to think of it that we're going to leap into even greater things in this 2016. My mantra for this year is manifest in 2016. So those of you who want to have some additional opportunity to connect with me directly, I'm on social media, but Miss E, I'm doing this exciting 40-day prayer and health challenge. So all you have to do to participate is just go visit my website. You'll see the information at destinydesignersuniversity.com. So thank you once again for your time, Miss E. Thank you, and everyone. Have an awesome rest of the day and night, and we look forward to hearing your voices again next week, Monday, same time, same place. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.